Thank you to Heather Bertha, Barbara Eckley, Tim Bojanowski, and Anthony Crunk. All right. We're going to get started because we have quite a bit to get done this morning before we leave. So if you'll pull something out of the cup.
Pressure.
Yeah, the pressure. It's all building. Okay, it's going to be team number 1.
Good morning, everybody. We're Group 1, and this is our pitch on how to make a credit union more competitive than other credit unions. My name is Dodge.
My name is Rodrigo.
My name is Xavier.
Jasmine.
Nick, the team leader.
And I'm Jake. And we're just going to highlight 3 categories that we think are important to build a competitive advantage against other credit unions, which are mobile applications, e-learning classes, and social media.
So today in society, technology is rapidly growing, and in order for businesses to stay competitive, they have to adapt to that technology. And 2 examples of that are Amazon. Amazon's coming out with drone service. It's something that they're looking to obviously keep doing and do well in the future. As well as Apple, who has decided to now come out with more phones every year on a yearly basis.
One big competitive advantage that we would provide would be through our mobile app. Everyone hates waiting, and a way to cut out waiting is through the mobile app for credit union. Offering mobile check deposits, transfers, and just banking on your mobile app would help a lot. It would decrease, nobody wants to go into a bank to do anything, and if you could do it from the convenience of your home, in your bed watching TV, then that would cut out a lot of time. Many banks already offer mobile apps, so this is not, the real competitive advantage we would get is by offering extra things like credit checks. Many other credit unions don't offer free credit checks through their mobile app. And an example of this would be CQ. They don't offer free credit checks at all through their app. We could partner with a credit check service like Surtech, because they offer free credit check, and if we could integrate their system through our mobile app, then that would help us get the competitive advantage because we offer the free credit check. Another thing many credit unions don't offer is financing and budgeting advice through their apps. And if we offer that, that would give us another competitive advantage against other credit unions. And a fun fact is 5 out of the 10 biggest credit unions that have a mobile app, they all use the exact same software developer for their apps, so there's no difference throughout any of those. So if we just built ours a little differently and added these extra things in there, then we would get a competitive advantage against other credit unions.
So before we get into online training, I have some reviews up here for you. These are from CQ. These are 2 different branches. The first 2 from the Linthicum branch. The last one's from the Columbia branch. The Linthicum branch has the 3 common trends here is they lack customer service. The Linthicum branch lacks customer service via through the telephone. Brian and Mary both having a hard time getting their information done efficiently. And David over at Columbia was in the bank on a Saturday morning for over 2.5 hours, and no one wants to be in a bank for over 2.5 hours to get just to open up a checking account. So we're thinking, what is a way that we can make a bank more efficient through the customer service aspect? That we thought online training would be the best way to do it. Xavier's going to give you some facts behind online training.
So according to Shift Disruptive Learning, one thing that we found out about e-learning is that participants actually learn 5 times more from e-learning courses rather than in-person training. And the reason for that is because in an in-person training course, I can't take an in-person training course to and from work or wherever I'm going. If I have to go meet a client and there's something that I want to review, I can't take the teacher and the rest of the course with me. Whereas if I have an e-learning course on my laptop, I can always review that a few minutes early before my scheduled appointment. So it gives me the opportunity to always review what it is that I want to know exactly. And another thing that we also learned is that almost 42% of global Fortune 500 companies are using e-learning and they're benefiting from it. Now, ask yourself, what does that mean exactly? Now, a Fortune 500 company is obviously much bigger than a privately owned small company, which means they have the revenue and the income majority of the time to provide an in-person training course, which usually costs more than e-learning. But they would rather put their money in something that is more beneficial to their employees in the long run and is going to help their business in the long run and help it continue to be successful, because that's how you're going to keep that competitive advantage in the long run.
So what's the competitive edge that we can get out of online training? We've got better customer service, not within one branch, but within all the branches for a credit union. You can use learning management systems. They're more efficient, they're interactive ways to learn how to actually do what you're doing for the job for each department. You have you can make it mandatory, so you can have like 3-4 times a year. The good thing about learning management systems is you can, like as Gabriel was saying, you can go back and review what you were having, what you don't understand within your workplace. And the overall goal is just to make it more efficient, to make it like a process, like a 2.5-hour process, go down to about an hour, hour and a half, hopefully. Because if you're in there for 2.5 hours, that means someone's in there sitting in the waiting room for more than that, about 3.5. So we want to make sure that we can provide better customer service in that aspect.
So another area where we can have a competitive advantage for our credit union is through social media. It's not just enough to have a social media account nowadays. You have to know how to use your social media account. So what we plan to do is we would use Twitter and Instagram and target a younger audience, whereas we would take Facebook and target an older generation. And both all social media accounts would also be appealing to small businesses. So here's a screenshot of CQ's social media. On the left-hand side, you have their Twitter account, and on the right-hand side, you have their Facebook account. As you can see, the content on both pages are the exact same, but if you take a closer look at their Facebook account, they have over 7,900 followers, and on the Twitter account, they only have 660. Why are they so different? Because the people using the different social media platforms have different interests and are looking for different things. So I'll turn it over to Jasmine, where she'll tell you how to target them.
So since 81% of the population has a social media account, social media is no longer seen as being optional. So we find that by having a clear strategy, you won't want to throw all of your information out at once, but instead you'll be more, you'll have more of an incentive to build on your online presence. So with challenges and contests, that will promote a positive outlook on concepts behind the credit union. Instagram Live will be used as a rather engaging platform for an inside look at our e-learning courses, an inside look at member benefits, and also community outreach. Hashtags used will be tied to the brand and in terms of search optimization and brand awareness. Our educational content all promotes financial education as well as customer service. And we find that by having an overall clear strategy and designating our content to different days of the week with a clear schedule, you'll be able to more maximize your efficiency in the way that you intend to and at the quality that you would like it to be at. And that's all we have.
Okay, I'll ask a question. So you came up with several different ideas. Would you prioritize any of them? Because obviously implementing these ideas takes time, money, and resources. And so I'm just curious, where would you go first? What would you think would be the most important?
Well, the significant difference between a credit union and bank would be customer service. Credit unions offer really good customer service. So the online training course would be critical because in order to provide customer service, your employees need to be confident. So if employees aren't confident with doing what they're doing, it's going to feed back to the members. Members are going to feel their energy. They're going to go back to their friends and family saying, hey, I'm not feeling comfortable with this credit union. Let's go to someone else. But if you boom within the online, if you boom your training and make your employees feel, build their knowledge, raise their knowledge up, it'll provide better confidence in the workplace. And instead of, it'll build your customer base because people go around saying, hey, let's go to this credit union. They provide a great service on top of that. And your fees don't have to be great either, because I work for customer service myself. If you provide great customer service, people will leave, but will come back and bring more people. Cause it's like CQ Salt, for example. I mean, they're not consistent at all their branches. So, I mean, I feel like the online training would be the best way to go about first, before you, and then social media, then the mobile apps.
How do you intend to measure the outcomes of these three? For the bank, at a cursory review, they're active in social, if not doing it well. I would imagine there is training in place, and certainly on the e-learning side, I think that there's a lot of opportunities to improve some of that. But how would you suggest the bank to measure the outcome of this exercise? Because really, you're saying, I think we should do all these things better than we're doing currently.
So as far as like e-learning, what I would do personally, and what I would think would be the measurable thing to do is, I would take my quarter results from employees of when I was doing original training as in in-person training courses, and I would consider what are the reviews we got this month, how much revenue did we make this month, and how satisfied are our customers with the service that we've done for them this month. And then I would take the individuals that I put in an online training course and find out how satisfied the customers are with them, how much revenue did we bring in that quarter or that month, and what is the difference between our results here and there, because the same website, Shift Disruptive Learning, has also said that about 70% of these companies that are using the e-learning have seen an increase in their revenue, and it's made their businesses more profitable. So if it wasn't something that was working, a business that's just starting up, they wouldn't want to use it because you got a lot at stake. You're starting up a business, you don't want it to go bad, you want it to go up. So if it's something that continues to benefit our members, our employees, then I think that's just one way that we can go about measuring it for the future.
I don't want to rush the other groups by taking more time, but I'm just curious if you would expect to use social media to reach out to customers to ask for feedback about how well your training program is doing, right? Are you looking, is there some component that you would see where you're looking to leverage the use of social media to get feedback to improve your customer service, right?
Yeah, I like to mention the AD controls, in phasing, having some group go through before the other. And that's something that, I would again just ask, is there a period of time that you look to measure? Because all these activities are in place. There is mobile banking, they have social media. I would imagine there is training, and it's probably in some ways digital. So let's say a quarter goes by and there aren't improvements. What's the next step for you guys to make sure from a quality assurance standpoint that the new programming is going to have some impact?
So with our, we decided to use Instagram Live, and with that, you'll get real-time, the real-time analytics. You get view count as well as discussion content that should reinforce or should generate discussion, as well as you get an inside look into whether it's our e-learning courses or really just real-time information of passive information.
And one of the things that like all the groups to recognize is, this brings up to a point, one of the things that you should look at, I think, in terms of any sort of project like this is most people look at the risks of failure.